When Noah Callahan saw a 5-year-old girl with his impossible green-blue eyes staring through his mansion gates, he thought his past had finally caught up to him, but nothing could have prepared him for who was standing beside her. The woman he'd destroyed 5 years ago, the one he'd pushed away with words sharp enough to scar, had returned with a secret that would shatter everything he thought he knew about himself. Doctors had sworn he could never father children after the accident, yet here she was, this little girl who hummed his tune and had his face calling him Daddy like she'd known him her whole life. But trust doesn't come easy when you've spent half a decade believing you're broken, and Noah's about to make a mistake that could cost him the only family he'll ever have. One accusation, one moment of doubt, and everything he's building will crumble faster than he can say sorry. Subscribe and comment below if you've ever sabotaged the best thing in your life, because this story's about to show you what it really costs and what it takes to claw your way back from the edge. The rain had stopped 20 minutes ago, but the air still smelled like wet asphalt and pine. Noah Callahan stepped out of his black sedan and stretched his shoulders. The drive from downtown had taken longer than usual. Traffic near the lake always backed up on Thursday afternoons. He nodded to Graham, his driver and estate manager, who was already unloading grocery bags from the trunk. The mansion gates stood tall ahead, black iron scrollwork that cost more than most people's cars. Noah barely noticed them anymore. Then he saw her, a little girl, maybe 5 years old. She stood on the other side of the gate, tiny fingers wrapped around the iron bars. Her dark curls were pulled into 2 puffy ponytails. Her yellow raincoat was muddy at the knees. But it was her eyes that made Noah freeze. Green-blue. Not quite one color, not quite the other. The exact shade he saw every morning in the mirror. The exact mix that made strangers ask if he wore colored contacts. His chest went tight. "Sir?" Graham's voice sounded far away. The girl tilted her head. She smiled, gap-toothed and hopeful. Then a woman rushed into view, breathless and frantic. She grabbed the little girl's hand and pulled her back from the gate. "Lila, baby, I told you not to run off." The woman looked up. Time stopped. Talia Brooks, 5 years. 5 years since he'd last seen her face. 5 years since he'd pushed her away with words sharp enough to cut. 5 years since he'd convinced himself it was the right thing to do. Her skin was the same warm brown he used to trace with his fingertips. Her hair was natural now, coiled tight and beautiful, pulled back with a patterned scarf. She wore jeans and a preschool teacher's polo shirt, bright blue with a name tag that read, Ms. Talia. She stared at him through the bars. Her lips parted. No sound came out. The little girl, Lila, looked between them. Then she looked back at Noah. "Hi, Daddy," she said. The words hit him like a fist to the stomach. "Lila, no," Talia whispered. She scooped the girl up fast, settling her on one hip. "Sweetie, we talked about this," but Lila pointed at Noah with a chubby finger. "He has my eyes," she said simply. Noah couldn't move, couldn't breathe. His hand was still on the car door. Graham stood beside him, frozen with a bag of groceries halfway out of the trunk. Talia met Noah's gaze. Something raw and desperate flickered across her face. "We were just passing through," she said quickly. Her voice was steadier than her hands. "Field trip, preschool." Lila wandered off. "I'm sorry, we'll go." But the sky opened up again. Fat drops of rain splattered the driveway. Lila squeaked and buried her face in Talia's neck. Noah's brain finally caught up to his body. He stepped forward. "Come inside." His voice came out rough. "Out of the rain. We're fine. Please." The word cracked in the middle. Talia hesitated. Rain soaked through her shirt. Lila shivered. Graham moved first. He pressed the gate remote. The iron bars swung open with a low hum. Noah gestured toward the house. "Just until it stops." Talia looked at her daughter, then back at him. She bit her bottom lip, the same way she used to when she was thinking too hard. "Okay," she whispered, "just until it stops." The foyer felt too big, too quiet. Noah's housekeeper, Mrs. Chen, appeared with towels before anyone asked. She draped one around Lila's shoulders and handed another to Talia. "I'll bring cocoa," she said warmly. Then she disappeared into the kitchen. Lila stared up at the chandelier. Her mouth formed a perfect O. "Mama, it's like a palace," she breathed. Talia managed a thin smile. She dried Lila's face with the edge of the towel. "Just a big house, baby." Noah stood near the door. He didn't know where to put his hands. Everything felt wrong. Everything felt impossible. Graham cleared his throat softly. "I'll take the groceries to the kitchen. Let me know if you need anything, sir." He left without waiting for an answer. The silence stretched. Lila wiggled free from her mother's arms and took 3 careful steps forward. She looked up at Noah. "You're really tall," she said. Noah blinked. Yeah, I guess. Do you live here all by yourself?" "Mostly. That's sad." She frowned. "Mama says nobody should be alone all the time." Talia's voice was firm. "Lila, come here." But the girl kept staring at Noah. She reached up and tugged on his jacket sleeve. "Do you have a dog?" "No." "A cat?" "No." That's even sadder. Despite everything, Noah almost smiled. Almost. Mrs. Chen returned with a tray. 3 mugs of cocoa, steam curling from the tops. She set it on the side table and left again, her footsteps silent on the marble floor. Talia picked up a mug and handed it to Lila. "Careful, it's hot." Lila blew on it, sending tiny ripples across the surface. Noah's throat felt like sandpaper. He forced himself to speak. "Why are you here, Talia?" She didn't look at him. She focused on wiping a smudge of mud from Lila's cheek. "I told you. Field trip. We were at the nature center up the road." Lila saw the gate and ran ahead. "That's it. That's not what I know what you meant." Her voice was cold, sharp. Lila looked up at her mother, then at Noah, her little eyebrows scrunched together. "Mama, why is your voice mad?" "I'm not mad, sweetie." "You sound mad." Talia exhaled slowly. She kissed the top of Lila's head. "I'm just tired." Noah shoved his hands into his pockets. His chest ached. "Why does she look like me?" The question came out louder than he meant. Lila jumped a little. Talia's jaw tightened. "Not here," she said quietly. "Then where?" Talia finally looked at him. Her eyes were storm-dark and exhausted. "You want answers? Fine, but not in front of her." Before Noah could respond, Lila piped up again. "Daddy," she said, clear as a bell. Noah's stomach twisted. "I'm not—" "Lila, stop!" Talia's voice cracked. "Baby, he's not your daddy, I told you. We don't know—" "But he has my eyes." Lila pointed between them. "See? Green and blue. Just like mine." She wasn't wrong. Noah crouched down slowly, bringing himself to her level. Up close, the resemblance was even stronger. The shape of her nose, the stubborn tilt of her chin. "What's your name?" he asked softly. "Lila Marie Brooks." She grinned. "I'm 5 3/4, almost 6. Mama says I'm too smart for my own good." "She's probably right." Lila giggled. Then she leaned in like she was sharing a secret. "Are you really not my daddy?" Noah's breath caught. He looked up at Talia. She was blinking fast, fighting tears. "I don't know," he said honestly. Lila thought about that. Then she shrugged. "Okay. Mama says it's okay not to know things sometimes." She took a loud slurp of cocoa. Noah stood. His knees felt shaky. "Can we talk?" he asked Talia. "Somewhere private?" She hesitated, looked at Lila, then nodded once. "Graham," Noah called. The older man appeared from the hallway almost instantly. His face was kind, patient. "Yes, sir? Can you stay with Lila for a few minutes? Show her the koi pond, maybe?" Graham smiled at the little girl. "I'd be honored. Miss Lila, do you like fish?" Lila's whole face lit up. "I love fish." "Then you'll love the pond. Come on." He offered his hand. Lila took it without hesitation, bouncing on her toes. "Bye, Mama. Bye, Mr. Tall Guy." They disappeared down the hall. Noah turned to Talia. Her arms were crossed tight over her chest. She looked smaller than he remembered, more fragile. "My study," he said. "Please." She followed him without a word. The study smelled like leather and old books. Rain tapped against the tall windows. Noah closed the door and leaned against it. Talia stood in the middle of the room. She didn't sit, didn't relax. "Say what you need to say," she said flatly. "I don't even know where to start." "Try the beginning." Noah dragged a hand through his hair. "You're angry. You think? I don't blame you. But Talia, you have to understand." "Understand what?" Her voice rose. "That you dumped me 5 years ago like I was garbage. That you told me I was too needy, too clingy, too much. That you said you never wanted to see me again." Each word was a knife. "I was trying to protect you," Noah said quietly. "From what? From me? From being stuck with someone who's—" He stopped, swallowed hard. "Someone who's broken." Talia laughed. It was bitter and sharp. "Broken. Right. That's what you told yourself. It's the truth." His voice cracked. "The doctors were clear after the accident." "Don't." She held up a hand. "Don't hide behind the accident. You pushed me away because you were scared. Because you decided I deserved better without even asking me what I wanted." Noah's throat burned. "I couldn't give you a family. You wanted kids someday, I remember. You talked about it all the time. And you decided for both of us. I didn't have a choice. You always had a choice. The words echoed. Talia's chest heaved, her eyes were wet. I loved you, she whispered. I would have stayed. Choice or no choice. Kids or no kids. But you didn't even give me the chance. Noah felt the ground shift under him. I thought I was doing the right thing. Well, you weren't. Silence. Heavy and thick. Talia wiped her eyes roughly. She has your eyes, she said, voice raw. That's my truth. That's all I'm giving you right now. Talia, her phone buzzed. She pulled it out, glanced at the screen and put it on speaker by accident. Talia Jean Brooks, where are you? A woman's voice, sharp with worry. Mama, I'm fine. You're at that man's house, aren't you? The one who broke your heart. Talia flushed. She quickly took the call off speaker and pressed the phone to her ear. I'll call you back. Don't you dare! Talia ended the call. She shoved the phone into her pocket and looked at Noah. I need to go. Wait. The word burst out of him. Come back tomorrow, please. Why? Because I need answers and I think... He stopped, started again. I think you need them too. Talia's jaw worked. She looked away. I don't owe you anything. I know, but Lila, she deserves to know the truth, whatever it is. That hit. Noah saw it in the way Talia's shoulders sagged. Come back tomorrow morning, Noah said, softer now. We'll talk. No yelling, no fighting. Just talk. Talia was quiet for a long moment. 9 o'clock, she finally said. And if you hurt her, Noah, if you hurt my baby, I'll never forgive you. I won't. You already did once. The words hung in the air like smoke. Talia turned and walked out of the study. Noah followed her back to the foyer. Graham was there with Lila, who was chattering about the orange koi with the funny whiskers. Mama, can we come back and see the fishies again? Talia forced a smile. We'll see, baby. She took Lila's hand and headed for the door. But Lila pulled free at the last second and ran back to Noah. She wrapped her arms around his legs in a quick, fierce hug. Bye, Mr. Tall Guy. I hope you get a dog. Then she was gone, skipping after her mother into the damp evening air. Noah stood in the doorway. He watched them disappear through the gates. Graham appeared beside him. That was unexpected, the older man said carefully. Yeah. What are you going to do, sir? Noah didn't answer. He just stared at the place where they'd been. The house felt emptier than usual that night. Noah stood on the balcony of his bedroom. The lake stretched out below, dark and smooth as glass. The rain had stopped, but the air still smelled wet, clean. He couldn't stop thinking about those eyes. Green-blue, rare. His mother used to call them sea glass eyes. She said they ran in the family. Her father had them. His great-grandfather, too. And now a 5-year-old girl with muddy knees and a gap-toothed smile? Impossible. The doctors had been clear. After the motorcycle accident 6 years ago, after the surgeries and the complications, they'd told him the chances of him ever having kids were almost zero. They'd used words like highly unlikely and permanent damage. He'd believed them, built his whole life around that truth, and then he'd pushed Talia away because loving her felt like stealing, like giving her a future with no children, no family, no hope. The door behind him opened softly. Graham stepped out onto the balcony with 2 mugs of tea. He handed one to Noah. Chamomile, Mrs. Chen insists. Thanks. They stood in comfortable silence. Graham had worked for Noah for 4 years, long enough to know when to talk and when to just be present. Finally, Graham spoke. She looks like you. Noah's hands tightened around the mug. It's not possible. Sometimes the impossible happens anyway. Not like this, not after... Noah stopped. His voice was too thick. Graham sipped his tea. I had a cousin, he said. Got told he'd never walk again after a car crash. Doctors were sure. 6 months later, he was running marathons. That's different, is it? Noah looked at him. Graham's face was calm, patient. Bodies heal in strange ways sometimes, Graham continued. And doctors, they're smart people, but they're not fortune-tellers. They make guesses. Educated ones, but still guesses. Noah's chest ached. You think she's mine? I think it's worth finding out. Noah turned back to the lake. In the distance, a heron called out, low and mournful. I hurt her, he said quietly. Talia, I hurt her so badly. Yes. No sugarcoating, no comfort, just truth. I thought I was doing the right thing. I believe you, Graham said, but good intentions don't erase pain. Noah closed his eyes. He saw Talia's face in the study, the anger, the hurt. 5 years' worth of it all at once. And then he saw Lila, the way she'd hugged his legs without hesitation, the way she'd called him daddy like it was the most natural thing in the world. "I don't know how to fix this," Noah whispered. "Start by showing up, that's all you can do." Graham finished his tea and headed back inside. He paused at the door. "Sir?" "Yeah? For what it's worth. I think she came back for a reason, even if she doesn't know it yet." He left. Noah stood alone on the balcony. He stared at the stars coming out between the clouds. Then he pulled out his phone. His thumb hovered over Talia's name in his contacts. He'd never deleted it. Never could. He typed slowly. "Please. Breakfast. 9 a.m. Safe." He hit send before he could change his mind. The response came 10 minutes later. Just one word. "Okay." Noah didn't sleep that night. He sat in his childhood bedroom, the one he kept exactly as it was, and found an old photo album. Page after page of family pictures. There in the middle, a photo of him at 5 years old, gap-toothed smile, messy curls, green-blue eyes staring at the camera like he could see the future. He looked exactly like Lila. Morning came slow and bright. Noah was in the kitchen by 7, nervous energy making his hands shake. "You're making pancakes?" Graham asked, amused. "She's 5. Kids like pancakes." "You don't cook." "I can learn." Mrs. Chen watched from the doorway, arms crossed. She looked like she was trying not to laugh. "Let me help," she said gently. By 8:50, the kitchen table was set. Pancakes, fresh fruit, orange juice. Noah had changed his shirt 3 times, settled on something casual, a grey Henley, jeans. He didn't want to look like he was trying too hard. The doorbell rang at exactly 9 o'clock. Noah's heart jumped into his throat. He wiped his palms on his jeans and went to answer it. Talia stood on the porch with Lila. The little girl wore overalls covered in painted butterflies. She clutched a piece of paper folded in half. "Hi," Noah said. "Hi," Talia replied. Her voice was guarded. Lila grinned. "Hi, Mr. Tall Guy. I made you something." She thrust the paper at him. Noah took it carefully and unfolded it. A crayon drawing, a big house with a lake, stick figures, 2 adults and a child in the middle. The sun was bright yellow. Hearts floated everywhere. At the bottom, in shaky letters, "Our house." Noah's throat closed up. This is really good, Lila. Mama helped with the spelling, but I did all the colors myself." "It's perfect." Lila beamed. She grabbed his hand without asking and pulled him toward the door. "Can we have breakfast now? Mama said you have pancakes." Yeah. Come in." Talia followed them inside. She looked around the kitchen, taking in the spread. Something flickered in her eyes. Surprise, maybe, or something softer. "You cooked?" she asked. "Tried to." "They smell good." It wasn't much, but it felt like a truce. They sat at the table. Lila bounced in her chair, fork at the ready. Noah poured orange juice. Talia helped Lila cut her pancakes into small bites. For a few minutes they just ate. No one spoke, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was careful, tentative. Then Lila looked up at Noah. "Do you like tadpoles?" Noah blinked. Sure. Me too. I have 17 of them in a tank at home. Mama says there'll be frogs soon. That's cool. Do you like mushrooms?" "Not really." Lila wrinkled her nose. "Me neither. They're squishy and gross." Talia hid a smile behind her juice glass. Noah felt something loosen in his chest. He leaned forward a little. "What else do you like?" "Lots of things. I like purple, and swings, and books about dragons, and singing, but Mama says I'm kinda loud." "You're very loud," Talia confirmed. Lila giggled. Then she tilted her head at Noah. "Do you hum?" "Hum?" "Yeah, like this." She started humming a tune, off-key, wandering, no clear melody. Noah froze. He knew that hum. He hummed it all the time, had since he was a kid. It drove people crazy because it never resolved, just looped and looped. "How do you know that?" he asked hoarsely. Lila shrugged. "I just do. Mama says I've always done it." Noah looked at Talia. She was staring at her plate. Her knuckles were white around her fork. "It's nothing," she said quietly. "Just a coincidence." But it wasn't, and they all knew it. After breakfast, Graham offered to show Lila the garden. She agreed enthusiastically, dragging him outside to look for butterflies. Noah and Talia stood alone in the kitchen. He watched her rinse the plates. Her movements were stiff, controlled. "Talia, don't. I need to ask." "I know." She set the plate down and turned to face him. Her eyes were bright with unshed tears. "Is she mine?" Noah asked. His voice was barely above a whisper. Talia's breath hitched. "Yes." The word was a punch to the chest. Noah grabbed the counter to steady himself. How? The usual way, Noah. That's not. You know that's not what I mean. Talia wrapped her arms around herself. She looked so small, so tired. I was pregnant, she said. Before the accident, before you pushed me away. I didn't know it yet. Not until after. Noah's world tilted. Why didn't you tell me? Why do you think, her voice cracked, you broke up with me? Told me you never wanted to see me again, that I was better off without you. How was I supposed to show up and say, hey, guess what? I'm having your baby. The baby you'll never believe is yours because the doctors said it's impossible. I would have what? Believed me? Taken me back out of pity? Accused me of lying? Noah opened his mouth, closed it, because she was right. He would have doubted, would have assumed the worst. I was scared, Talia whispered. Scared you'd reject her like you rejected me. Scared I'd have to prove something that shouldn't need proof. So I kept her, raised her, loved her, and told myself it was better this way. Tears spilled down her cheeks. She wiped them away angrily. Noah felt like he was drowning. She's 5, he said. 5 years. I missed everything. I know. You should have told me. Maybe. But would you have believed me then, Noah, really? He wanted to say yes. Wanted to believe he would have stepped up, been better. But honest? He didn't know. Through the window, he could see Lila chasing a butterfly. Graham followed behind, hands in his pockets, smiling. She had his eyes, his hum, his stubborn chin, his daughter. I need to call Dr. Patel, Noah said suddenly. My doctor. She needs to know. There has to be an explanation. Talia nodded slowly. Okay. Will you come back after lunch? We can figure this out. Together. She looked at him for a long time, searching his face for something. She's napping at my mum's house this afternoon, Talia said finally. I'll come back after. Alone. We need to talk. Really talk. No more running. No more running, Noah agreed. Talia called Lila inside. The little girl hugged Noah goodbye, sticky from syrup and happy. Bye, Mr. Tall Guy. Can I come back and see the garden again? Any time, Noah said. His voice sounded strange in his own ears. Any time you want. After they left, Noah stood in the empty kitchen. He picked up Lila's drawing and traced the stick figures with his finger. Our house. He pulled out his phone and dialed Dr. Patel. It was time to find out the truth. All of it. Dr. Meera Patel answered on the 3rd ring. Noah, it's been a while. I know. I'm sorry. I need to ask you something. There was a pause. Noah could hear papers rustling in the background. Is everything all right? Dr. Patel asked. Her voice was professional but warm. She'd been his doctor for 8 years. She knew his history. Noah sat down heavily in his study chair. Do you remember the accident? 6 years ago? And what you told me afterward? Another pause. Longer this time. Of course. The motorcycle accident. Severe trauma. Multiple surgeries. We discussed the likelihood of... She stopped. Noah, why are you asking about this now? Is it possible you were wrong? Silence. Wrong? Dr. Patel said carefully. The tests at the time were very clear. The damage was significant. I told you the chances were extremely low. Not impossible, but highly unlikely. But not impossible. Nothing in medicine is truly impossible. But Noah, the odds... I need to know if anything could have changed, if healing could have happened over time. Dr. Patel was quiet for a moment. He could hear her thinking. Bodies are remarkable, she finally said. Sometimes healing occurs in ways we don't fully understand, but without current testing, I can't tell you anything definitive. Why? What's happened? Noah's throat felt tight. There's a child, a little girl, she's 5, and she... Dr. Patel, she looks exactly like me. Oh, that one word carried so much weight. I need to know if it's possible, Noah said, before I let myself believe. The only way to know for certain is to run new tests, blood work, updated imaging, and of course, if paternity is in question, there are definitive tests for that as well. Noah nodded, even though she couldn't see him. Can you pull my old files? Review them. I can, but Noah... Dr. Patel's voice softened. Even if the original diagnosis stands, that doesn't mean the child isn't yours. The accident happened 6 years ago. If this little girl is 5, the timeline could work. Conception could have occurred before the accident. Noah's brain stuttered. Before? It's worth considering. He thanked her and ended the call. Then he sat in his chair, staring at nothing. Before the accident. The timeline spun through his head. He'd been with Talia for almost a year before everything fell apart. The accident happened in late September. Lila's birthday. He didn't even know when it was. He needed to ask. His phone buzzed. A text from Talia. Lila's asleep. I'll be there in an hour. Noah stood. He paced the study. Then he went to the window and looked out at the lake. An hour felt like a lifetime. Across town, Talia sat at her mother's kitchen table, her hands wrapped around a mug of tea she wasn't drinking. Evelyn Brooks stood at the stove, stirring a pot of soup that nobody wanted. She was a strong woman, 56 years old, silver streaks in her dark hair, shoulders that had carried more weight than they should have. "You went to his house," Evelyn said. It wasn't a question. "Mama, I told you to stay away from that man." Lila ran off. "I didn't have a choice." Evelyn turned around. Her eyes were hard. "There's always a choice, Talia Jean." Talia set down her mug. "He wants to know the truth. He had 5 years to want the truth. Where was he when you were throwing up every morning? Where was he when you gave birth alone in that hospital? Where was he when Lila cried all night with colic and you thought you'd lose your mind?" Each question hit like a hammer. "He didn't know," Talia whispered. "Because you didn't tell him. Because he made it clear he didn't want me." Her voice cracked. Evelyn's expression softened. She crossed the kitchen and pulled Talia into a hug. "Baby girl, I know he hurt you. I know. But bringing him back into your life now, into Lila's life, it's dangerous. She asked for him, Mama." Talia's voice was muffled against her mother's shoulder. She saw those eyes and she just knew. "How do I tell her no? How do I tell her she can't have a daddy when he's right there?" Evelyn pulled back. She cupped Talia's face. "What if he breaks her heart like he broke yours?" "I won't let him. You can't control that. I have to try." From the living room came a small sound. Both women turned. Leela stood in the doorway holding her stuffed rabbit. Her eyes were heavy with sleep. "Mama? Why are you crying?" Talia quickly wiped her face. "I'm not, baby, just tired." Lila padded over and climbed into her mother's lap. She was getting so big. Long legs and elbows everywhere. "Are we going back to see the tall man?" Lila asked. "Not today, sweetie." "Tomorrow?" Talia smoothed her daughter's curls. "Maybe. I liked him. He was nice. And he has my eyes." Lila yawned. "Can I tell my class about him at show and tell?" Talia's heart squeezed. "We'll see." Lila snuggled closer. Within minutes, she was asleep again. Small snores puffed against Talia's collarbone. Evelyn sat down across from them. Her face was tired. "If you're really doing this," she said quietly, "I'm coming with you tonight." "Mama, you don't have to." "Yes, I do. Somebody needs to make sure he doesn't bulldoze you with money and guilt. And if he so much as looks at my grandbaby wrong, he won't. You don't know that." Talia looked down at Lila, at the perfect curve of her cheek, the impossible color of her eyes. "No," she said softly, "but I have to find out." Noah changed shirts again, then changed back. Graham watched from the doorway, saying nothing. "Stop looking at me like that," Noah muttered. "I'm not looking any particular way, sir." "Yes, you are." Graham smiled. "She's bringing her mother." Noah froze. "How do you know?" "I saw a text on your phone when you left it on the counter. It lit up." Did you read my messages?" "Only the preview. It said Mama's coming too." "Don't be weird." Noah groaned. He sat on the edge of his bed. "Her mother hates me." "Can you blame her?" "No." "Then be respectful. Be honest. And for the love of everything, don't be defensive." Noah looked up at him. "When did you get so wise?" "I've always been wise. You just don't usually listen." Graham left. Noah stared at his reflection in the mirror. He looked tired, scared. He looked like a man who'd wasted 5 years. The doorbell rang at exactly 4 o'clock. Noah answered it himself. Talia stood there with an older woman who had the same beautiful dark skin and the same sharp, knowing eyes. "This is my mother, Evelyn Brooks," Talia said. Her voice was formal, distant. Evelyn looked Noah up and down. Her expression gave nothing away. "Mr. Callahan, Ms. Brooks, please come in." They followed him to the terrace, a wide stone patio overlooking the lake. Mrs. Chen had set out iced tea and cookies. Nobody touched them. They sat in uncomfortable silence. Cicadas hummed in the trees. The sun was starting its slow descent toward the water. Evelyn spoke first. "My daughter tells me you want to be involved." Noah nodded. "Yes, Mom." "Why?" The question was sharp, direct. "Because she's my daughter." "You don't know that for sure." "I know enough." Evelyn leaned forward. "Do you? Because from where I'm sitting, you threw my baby girl away like she was nothing, told her she wasn't good enough, made her feel small, and now you want to waltz back in because you saw a cute kid with pretty eyes?" "Mama," Talia started. "No." Evelyn held up a hand. "He needs to hear this. You broke her, Mr. Callahan. You broke her so bad she cried for months, wouldn't eat, wouldn't sleep, and when she found out she was pregnant, she was terrified. Not because of the baby, she wanted that baby, but because she thought you'd take her to court, call her a liar, try to prove she was unfaithful. Noah felt sick. I would never. How was she supposed to know that? You'd already proven you'd throw her away. Why wouldn't you do worse? Silence, heavy and awful. Noah forced himself to meet Evelyn's eyes. You're right, he said quietly. Everything you said is right. I was cruel. I was a coward. I hurt Talia in ways I can't take back. Then why should we trust you now? You shouldn't. Noah's voice was raw. I haven't earned it, but I want to. Not because I feel guilty, though I do. Not because I think I deserve forgiveness, because I don't. But because that little girl deserves a father who shows up, who stays, who doesn't run when things get hard. Evelyn studied him. Her expression was unreadable. Words are easy, Mr. Callahan. I know. So what are you offering? Money? A big house? A trust fund? No. I'm offering time, presence. I want to know her. I want her to know me. No cameras, no headlines, just us. From the garden came a sound. They all turned. Lila had escaped from the house. She ran across the lawn, Graham following at a jog. Mama, she called. Mama, you came back. She climbed the terrace steps and launched herself at Talia. Then she spotted Noah. Mr. Tall Guy, did you get a dog yet? Despite everything, Noah almost smiled. Not yet. You should. Dogs are good for lonely people. She said it matter-of-factly, like she was delivering important news. Then she looked at Evelyn. Hi, Grandma. Did you see the fish? They're so big. Evelyn's expression softened. She pulled Lila close. I did, baby. They're very big. Lila wiggled free and went to the edge of the terrace. She leaned over the railing, pointing at the koi pond below. Daddy, watch! The orange one's doing flips! The word landed like a thunderclap. Everyone froze. Lila turned around, confused by the silence. What? Talia's eyes were wet. Sweetie, we talked about this. But he is. Lila frowned. He has my eyes. And my hum. And Grandma said daddies are the people who stay. So if he stays, he's my daddy, right? Out of the mouths of babes. Evelyn looked at Noah, really looked at him. Something shifted in her face. Don't hurt my girls, she said quietly. If you're going to do this, really do this, then you better mean it. Because if you break that child's heart, Mr. Callahan, there isn't a place on this earth you can hide from me. I won't, Noah said. His voice was steady. Sure, I promise. Lila ran back over and grabbed his hand. Her fingers were small and sticky. Can we feed the fish? She asked. Noah looked at Talia. She nodded once. Permission. Yeah, he said. Let's feed the fish. They spent the next hour by the pond. Lila chattered non-stop, throwing pellets to the koi and making up names for each one. Talia and Evelyn sat on a nearby bench, watching. Graham brought out lemonade. The sun painted everything gold, and for a little while, it felt possible. When the shadows grew long, Evelyn stood. We should go. It's almost dinner time. Lila's face fell. Already? Yes, baby, but we'll come back. Tomorrow? Talia looked at Noah. He looked back. Something unspoken passed between them. How about this? Noah said carefully. We spend this week getting to know each other, a little bit every day. Would you like that? Lila's whole face lit up. Really? Really? If your mama says it's okay. All eyes turned to Talia. She bit her lip, then nodded. Okay, but we go slow, and we're honest. About everything. About everything, Noah agreed. They shook on it, formal and serious. Lila giggled. Grown-ups are so weird. As they walked to the door, Lila turned back one more time. Good night, Mr. Tall Guy. Noah crouched down. You can call me Noah if you want. She thought about it, then shook her head. I like Mr. Tall Guy better. It's funny. Fair enough. She hugged him quickly. Then she was gone, dragging her grandmother toward the car. Talia lingered in the doorway. Thank you, she said quietly. For today, I didn't do anything. You showed up. That's something. She started to leave. Noah caught her hand. Talia, I'm sorry for everything. I know it doesn't fix anything, but I am. Truly. Her eyes searched his face. I know. Then she was gone. Noah stood in the empty foyer. The house felt different, less lonely, like something had shifted in the walls themselves. Graham appeared with a knowing smile. Well, he said, that went better than expected. It's a start. It's more than a start, sir. It's a foundation. Noah nodded slowly. He thought about Lila's hand in his, about the way she'd called him Daddy without hesitation. "Tomorrow," he said. "We start fresh tomorrow." "Tomorrow," Graham agreed. The next morning came bright and early. Noah was up before dawn, pacing the kitchen. Mrs. Chen made coffee and didn't comment on his nervousness. At 8:30, his phone buzzed. "We're 5 minutes away." Lila's excited. Noah grinned like an idiot. They arrived exactly on time. Lila wore an apron that was 3 sizes too big, borrowed from her grandmother's house. She was ready to cook. "Pancakes," she announced. "Can I help?" "Absolutely." They made a mess. Flour everywhere. Chocolate chips scattered across the counter. Lila cracked eggs with more enthusiasm than skill, but they laughed. That was the important part. Talia stood back, watching. Her expression was guarded but soft around the edges. After breakfast, Noah showed Lila a guest bedroom. "This could be your room," he said carefully, "for when you visit. We could put up any decorations you want." Lila's eyes went wide. "Any decorations?" "Any. Even glow-in-the-dark stars." "Especially those." She ran through the room, arms spread wide like an airplane. Talia appeared in the doorway. "This is too much," she said quietly. "It's just a room." "Noah!" "I'm not trying to buy her love, Talia. I'm trying to give her a space, a place that's hers, that's all." Talia looked at him for a long moment. Then she nodded. "Okay, but no big gifts. Nothing bigger than a book. And we need consistent goodbyes. No surprises. She needs to know when we're leaving and when we're coming back. Deal." Graham suggested a picnic by the lake. Talia hesitated, then agreed. They spread a blanket on the grass. Lila ran after butterflies. The breeze was perfect, cool, but not cold. "Tell me about your father," Talia said suddenly. Noah tensed. "Why?" "Because Lila asked this morning. She wanted to know if you had a daddy, too." Noah was quiet for a moment. He watched Lila chase a yellow butterfly. "He left when I was 7, he said finally. "Just walked out one day and never came back. My mum did her best, but—" He stopped. "I think that's why I need to control everything, why I push people away, because I learned that people leave, and the only way to survive that is to leave first." Talia's expression softened. "That's really sad, Noah." "Yeah. But you know that's not how it has to be, right? You can choose different." "I'm trying." She reached over and squeezed his hand. Brief, warm, then she let go. From down the lawn came a voice. Well, looks like the rumors are true." An older woman approached, white hair, bright pink cardigan, eyes sharp with curiosity. She carried a small dog under one arm. "Miss Dottie," Talia said carefully. The woman, Dottie, smiled wide. "Talia Brooks, I thought that was you. And who's this handsome gentleman?" "Noah Callahan," Noah said, standing. "I live here." "Oh, I know who you are, dear. Everyone knows. Big house, fancy cars. Very mysterious." She winked. "And now I see why you've been keeping secrets." She looked pointedly at Lila, who was now trying to fly a kite Graham had produced from somewhere. "Family resemblance is quite striking," Dottie continued. Talia stiffened. Noah felt a spike of protectiveness. "Miss Dottie," he said politely, "we're just having a quiet day. I'd appreciate—" "Oh, don't worry. I'm not one to gossip. Much." She laughed at her own joke. "But you should know, dear. People in town talk. Small places always do. Just be prepared." She waved and wandered off, her little dog yapping. Talia looked worried. "Noah, if people start talking, let them talk. But your reputation—" "I don't care about my reputation." He meant it. "I care about her. About you, the rest is just noise." Talia blinked. Then slowly, carefully, she smiled. "Okay." A shout came from the lawn. Lila's kite had gotten stuck in a tree. "Daddy!" she called. "Help!" Noah ran over. The kite was high, too high for him to reach from the ground. He looked at the tree, at the branches. "I can climb it," he said. Talia appeared beside him. "Noah, you don't have to—" But he was already moving, hand over hand, careful and steady. He reached the kite and untangled it from the branches. From below, Lila cheered. "Daddy's brave." The word hit him square in the chest. He looked down at her upturned face, at the pure joy there. Daddy. He climbed down and handed her the kite. "Here you go." She threw her arms around his legs. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Over her head, Noah met Talia's eyes. She was smiling, really smiling, and for the first time in 5 years, Noah felt like maybe, just maybe, he was exactly where he was supposed to be. Late afternoon arrived too quickly. They packed up the picnic blanket. Lila held both Noah's hand and Talia's hand as they walked back to the mansion. "Can we come back tomorrow?" she asked. Talia looked at Noah. He nodded. How about we go somewhere different tomorrow? Talia suggested. The playground near my school. Would you like to show Noah your favorite slide? Lila gasped. Yes. And the swings. And the sandbox. Deal, Noah said. They agreed to meet at 3 o'clock, after school, after Lila's nap. That night, Noah couldn't stop smiling. Graham noticed. You're humming, the older man observed. Am I? The same tune. The one Lila hums. Noah stopped. He hadn't even realized. It's strange, he said quietly. Having her here, having them here, it feels right, like something was missing and now it's not. Graham nodded. That's called family, sir. I don't want to mess this up. Then don't. It sounded so simple. Noah hoped it could be. The next afternoon, Noah arrived at the playground 10 minutes early. It was a small park in the center of town. Swings, slides, a jungle gym painted bright colors. A few other parents watched their kids play. Talia was already there. She sat on a bench grading papers. Lila played on the monkey bars with another little girl. Noah approached slowly. Talia looked up and smiled. You're early. Didn't want to be late. Lila's been talking about you all day. Told her whole class about the koi pond and the kite rescue. Noah sat beside her. Is that okay? It's more than okay. She's happy. Talia set down her pen. I haven't seen her this happy in a long time. She seems like a happy kid in general. She is, but there's always been something. Talia stopped, chose her words carefully. She sees other kids with their dads, at pickup, at birthday parties, and she asks questions I don't always know how to answer. Noah's chest tightened. I'm sorry. I know. They watched Lila play. She'd moved to the slide now, racing another kid to the top. This is weird, right? Talia said suddenly. Us, sitting here like we're co-parenting? Yeah, it's weird, Noah admitted. But good weird. Talia laughed softly. The sound made Noah's heart skip. I missed that, he said before he could stop himself. Missed what? Your laugh. She looked at him. Really looked. Her eyes were soft but cautious. Noah, I know I'm not asking for anything. I just wanted you to know. Before Talia could respond, a voice called out. Talia, is that you? A woman approached. She had kind eyes and wore a preschool staff badge. Behind her came a man with an easy smile and paint-stained jeans. Miss Priya, Mr. Ben. Talia stood and hugged them both. What are you doing here? Teacher planning session ended early, Priya said. Ben wanted ice cream, so... She stopped. Her eyes landed on Noah. Oh, hello. Talia flushed. This is Noah. Noah Callahan. He's, Lila's father, Noah finished. He stood and offered his hand. Priya's eyebrows shot up. Ben looked between them, reading the room. It's nice to meet you, Priya said carefully. She shook his hand. Lila talks about you constantly. All good things, I hope. She says you're very tall, and you have a fish pond, and you're going to get a dog. Noah smiled. 2 out of 3 so far. Ben clapped him on the shoulder. Welcome to the chaos, man. Parenthood is wild. They chatted for a few more minutes, friendly but curious. Then Priya and Ben excused themselves. As they walked away, Noah heard Priya whisper to Ben, Did you see how he looked at her? Ben's response was too quiet to hear, but he was smiling. Talia sat back down, blushing. Sorry, they mean well. They seem nice. They are. She hesitated. They're going to tell everyone. Does that bother you? I don't know yet. From across the playground, Lila spotted them. She shrieked and ran over, nearly tripping on her own feet. Noah, come push me on the swing. He let her pull him across the grass. She climbed onto the swing and kicked her legs. Higher, she demanded. Noah pushed, gently at first, then higher when she laughed and begged for more. Other parents watched. Some smiled, others whispered. Noah didn't care. From the bench, Talia watched them, and despite everything, despite the fear and the uncertainty, her heart felt full. A car pulled up to the curb. Evelyn stepped out, carrying a cooler. Grandma! Lila jumped off the swing mid-air. Noah caught her before she face-planted. Evelyn approached with a knowing smile. I brought juice boxes. Thought you might need reinforcements. You didn't have to do that, Talia said. I wanted to. Evelyn's gaze drifted to Noah. Her expression was still guarded but softer than before. Mr. Callahan, Ms. Brooks. Evelyn handed him a juice box. You look like you could use one too. Thank you. They sat together on the grass. Lila sprawled between them, drinking her juice and chattering about her day. Evelyn watched Noah carefully, assessing. Finally, she spoke. You're good with her. Noah looked up, surprised. I'm trying. Trying counts. She paused. But understand something, Mr. Callahan. Lila's heart is precious and breakable. If you're in this, you're all in. No half measures. I understand. Do you? Because when things get hard, and they will, you don't get to walk away. Not from her. Not again. Noah met her eyes. I won't, I promise. Evelyn studied him, then nodded once. Good. She stood and brushed off her pants. I'm going to the store. Talia, do you need me to? We're good, Mama. Thank you. After Evelyn left, Talia leaned closer to Noah. She likes you, she whispered. She threatened me. That's how she shows affection. Noah laughed. Your family is intense. You have no idea. They stayed at the playground until the sun started to set. Lila taught Noah how to go down the slide properly. You have to make your arms into a rocket, Noah. He taught her how to pump her legs on the swing to go higher by herself. When it was time to leave, Noah walked them to Talia's car, an older sedan, well-loved but reliable. Lila climbed into her booster seat. Can you come to my school tomorrow? Your school? We're having a mini open house. She bounced excitedly. Families can come read books and see our art projects. Talia buckled her in. Lila, Noah's probably busy. I'll be there, Noah said. What time? Talia blinked. 10 o'clock. But you really don't have to. I want to. Their eyes met over the roof of the car. Something passed between them. Something warm and tentative. Okay, Talia said softly. 10 o'clock. The next morning, Noah arrived at Sunshine Preschool at 9:55. The building was small and cheerful. Painted handprints decorated the windows. A rainbow mural covered one wall. Inside, children's laughter echoed down the hallway. Noah followed the sound to Talia's classroom. She stood at the door, greeting families. When she saw him, her whole face lit up. You came. I said I would. Lila spotted him and screamed. Noah! Noah's here! She dragged him into the room. It was chaos. Colorful chaos. Art projects covered every surface. Tiny chairs circled a reading rug. A tank of tadpoles sat by the window. These are my tadpoles, Lila announced proudly. There's 17. Want to count? Sure. They counted together, twice, because Lila kept losing track. Priya and Ben appeared. They exchanged knowing glances with Talia. Okay, everyone, Talia called. Circle time. Families, please sit with your kiddos. Noah sat cross-legged on the rug. Lila plopped down in his lap, like it was the most natural thing in the world. Talia read a story. Something about a caterpillar who ate too much. She did all the voices, made the kids giggle. Noah couldn't take his eyes off her. She was incredible, patient and warm, and so full of love for these children. After the story, Talia asked if any parents wanted to read next. Lila's hand shot up. Noah can read. He does funny voices. I do? You did yesterday with the fish book. Noah flushed. Every parent in the room was looking at him. I'm not. Talia handed him a book. Her eyes danced with amusement. Go ahead, Mr. Callahan, show us your funny voices. He was going to die of embarrassment. But then Lila looked up at him with those impossible eyes, so full of hope. He opened the book. It was about a grumpy dragon who didn't want to share his gold. Noah read it. And yes, he did voices. A deep growl for the dragon, a squeaky voice for the mouse, a pompous accent for the knight. The kids loved it. They laughed and clapped. Lila beamed like he'd just won an Oscar. When he finished, Talia was smiling so wide her cheeks must have hurt. After circle time, parents mingled. Noah stood by the tadpole tank, watching the little creatures swim. Dottie appeared beside him. Where had she come from? Mr. Callahan, fancy seeing you here. Miss Dottie, that was quite the performance. You're a natural. I don't know about that. She pulled out her phone. Do you mind if I take a photo? For the community board. We like to document our open houses. Noah hesitated. I'm not sure. Oh, it's harmless. Just for our little town newsletter, nothing fancy. Before he could protest, she'd snapped a picture of him with Lila, then one of Talia laughing with another parent. Something about it felt wrong, but Dottie was already walking away, humming to herself. Talia appeared at his elbow. What was that about? I think we just made the town newsletter, she groaned. Great. My mother's going to have opinions. Is that bad? In a town this small? Maybe. She bit her lip. People talk, Noah, and once they start, then let them talk. He said it firmly. We're not doing anything wrong. We're figuring things out. As a family. The word hung in the air between them. Family. Talia's eyes went soft. Yeah, we are. After the open house, Noah walked them to the parking lot. Lila skipped ahead, singing a song about tadpoles. "Thank you for coming," Talia said. It meant a lot to her. It meant a lot to me, too. They stood by her car. The air felt charged, electric. Talia looked up at him. "There's a diner, by the lake. Nothing fancy, but they have good burgers and pie. Are you asking me out?" She flushed. "I'm asking if you want to have dinner, with me and Lila, tonight. My mom too, probably. So not really a date, just dinner as a family," she smiled. "Yeah, as a family. I'd love that. 7 o'clock? I'll be there." He almost kissed her, right there in the parking lot with teachers and parents watching. But Lila called out, and the moment passed. Still, it felt like a beginning. The diner was exactly what Talia had promised. Small and cozy, red vinyl booths, a jukebox in the corner, the smell of coffee and pie. They sat in a corner booth. Lila colored on her paper menu. Evelyn sat beside her, watching Noah with sharp eyes. "So," Evelyn said, "you're really doing this? The whole family thing?" "Yes, ma'am. And when it gets hard, when the novelty wears off." "Mama," Talia warned. "It's okay," Noah said. He met Evelyn's gaze head-on. "I know I haven't earned your trust. I know I hurt Talia, but I'm not going anywhere, not this time." Evelyn studied him. Then she nodded slowly. "All right, then." The waitress came. They ordered burgers and fries. Lila wanted a chocolate milkshake. Talia said no. Evelyn said yes. Talia sighed. "You always undermine me. That's what grandmothers do, baby." They ate. They laughed. Lila told a very long story about a kid at school who ate a crayon. Noah listened like it was the most important story in the world. At the next table, a couple whispered and stared. Noah caught the words, "rich man," and "secret family." Under the table, Talia's hand found his. She squeezed. A silent message. "Ignore them." He squeezed back. "I'm okay." After dinner, they walked outside. String lights hung over the patio. The lake glittered in the distance. Lila ran ahead with Evelyn chasing fireflies. Noah and Talia stood under the lights. "People are going to talk," she said quietly. "I know. It might get ugly." "I don't care." She looked up at him. "Why?" "Because this. You, Lila, even your terrifying mother, this is worth it. This is real. And I'm tired of running from real things." Talia's breath hitched. "Noah." He stepped closer, close enough to feel her warmth. "Can I kiss you?" She didn't answer with words. She just rose up on her toes and pressed her lips to his. It was soft, brief, tender, everything a first kiss should be. When they pulled apart, Talia was smiling. "That was nice." "Yeah?" "Yeah." From across the parking lot, Evelyn called out, "You two done making moon eyes? Lila's getting tired." They laughed. Noah took Talia's hand. They walked together to the car. "Tomorrow," Talia said, "come over, to my place. We can do crafts with Lila, and maybe we can talk, really talk." "About what?" "About everything. The past, the timeline, all of it." Noah's stomach tightened, but he nodded. "Okay. What time?" 10. I'll make coffee. I'll bring donuts." She grinned. "You're learning." The next morning, Noah arrived with a box of donuts and a stomach full of nerves. Talia's house was small, a cozy bungalow with flower boxes in the windows. Inside it was warm and lived in. Photos covered every surface. Toys overflowed from baskets. A drawing of the three of them hung on the fridge. Lila grabbed the donut box. "Can I have the one with sprinkles?" "Sure." She ran off to the living room, already making a mess. Talia led Noah to a small art room. More accurately, it was a corner of the dining room with a plastic table and every craft supply known to man. "She's very creative," Talia said. "I can see that." They set up paints and glitter and construction paper. Lila appeared covered in donut glaze and immediately started creating chaos. For an hour they painted. Lila made a picture of the koi pond. Noah attempted a flower. It looked like a blob. Talia's landscape was actually good. "You've got skills," Noah observed. "I teach art to 5-year-olds. It comes with the territory." While Lila painted, singing to herself, Talia pulled out a folder, simple and worn. "I want to show you something," she said quietly. She opened it. Inside was a hospital discharge paper and a prenatal appointment card. Noah's hands shook as he picked it up. The date was clear, 2 weeks before his accident. "I found out here," Talia pointed to the card. "September 3rd. You had your accident on September 18th. Noah's throat closed. Before, she confirmed. "I was going to tell you that weekend. I had it all planned. But then the accident happened, and you were in the hospital for weeks. And when you finally got out, I pushed you away." "Yeah." Noah stared at the papers. Proof. Timeline. Truth. I didn't know, he whispered. Talia, if I had known. I know, but you pushed me away before I could tell you. You said you couldn't give me a future, couldn't give me kids, and I was standing there pregnant with your child, and I just... Her voice broke. I couldn't tell you, because I was terrified you wouldn't believe me, or worse, you'd think I was trying to trap you. Noah set down the papers. He pulled her into his arms. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, she cried against his chest, 5 years of hurt finally spilling out. From the table, Lila looked up. Mama, why are you sad? Talia pulled back, wiping her eyes. I'm not sad, baby, just remembering. Remembering is okay, Lila said seriously. Grandma says sometimes we have to remember the sad stuff so we can be happy about the good stuff. Out of the mouths of babes. Talia laughed through her tears. Grandma's very wise, Lila nodded. Then she held up her painting. Look, I painted all of us and the fishies. It was beautiful in the way only a child's art could be. Messy and colorful and full of joy. Noah felt something crack open in his chest. It's perfect, he said. Lila beamed. Then she went back to painting, humming that familiar tune. Talia leaned against Noah's shoulder. We lost so much time. I know, but we're here now. Are we going to be okay? He kissed the top of her head. Yeah, I think we are. That afternoon they went to the fall festival. The whole town turned out. Booths lined the streets. Music played from a stage near the gazebo. Lila wore face paint, a butterfly on her cheek. She held Noah's hand on one side and Talia's on the other. They played games. Ring toss, duck pond, balloon darts. Noah won Lila a stuffed dragon. She named it Graham. That's a good name, Noah said. It's the best name, Lila insisted. They rode the carousel. Lila picked a purple horse. Noah stood beside her, one hand on her back to keep her steady. Talia snapped a photo with her phone. This is going in a frame, she said. Send it to me. Really? I want to remember this. The look she gave him could have melted stone. They got caramel apples. Lila's face was immediately sticky. They shared a funnel cake. Noah got powdered sugar on his nose. Lila and Talia laughed. Dottie appeared, camera in hand. What a lovely family. Can I get a photo? Before anyone could protest, she snapped a picture, then another. These are going on the community website. You all look so happy. She wandered off. Talia frowned. I don't like how much she's documenting this. It's just photos, Noah said. In a small town, photos become stories, and stories become gossip. Let them gossip. But Talia still looked worried. As the sun set, Dottie approached them again. This time, she looked sheepish. I'm sorry, she said. I got a little carried away with the photos. If you want, I can delete them. I wasn't thinking about how it might look, or how people might talk. Talia relaxed a fraction. Thank you, Ms. Dottie. That would be nice. Consider it done. She smiled. You make a beautiful family, really. She meant it, and somehow that made it okay. The fireworks started as darkness fell. They found a spot on the grass. Lila sat in Noah's lap, her head tilted back in wonder. The sky exploded in color. Red, blue, gold. Each burst reflected in Lila's eyes. She was asleep before the finale. Her head rested against Noah's chest, her breathing soft and even. Noah looked at Talia. She was watching him with something raw and open in her expression. This is it, she whispered. This is everything I wanted. Me too. He wanted to say more, wanted to tell her he loved her, that he never stopped. But the moment felt too fragile. Instead, he just held his daughter and watched the sky light up. For tonight, that was enough. The next morning, Noah woke to his phone buzzing. Dr. Patel's name flashed on the screen. Hello, Noah. I have your updated lab results. He sat up. And? Your levels have improved significantly. The fertility markers we discussed, they're much better than they were 6 years ago. Noah's heart pounded. Meaning? Meaning it's possible you've experienced some degree of recovery over time. Bodies heal in unexpected ways. It's not common, but it happens. Noah should have felt relieved, should have felt vindicated. Instead, a cold suspicion crawled up his spine. So I could have kids now? It's possible. With the right partner and circumstances, yes. Noah thanked her and hung up. He stared at his phone. Talia had said she got pregnant before the accident. But what if she was lying? What if she'd heard he was fertile again and saw an opportunity? No, that was crazy. She had papers, proof, but doubt was a poison. Once it started, it spread. He thought about the timeline, about how convenient it all seemed. Show up with a kid who looked like him, play on his guilt, his loneliness. His hands shook. He called Talia. She answered on the first ring. Hey, we're making pancakes. Lila wants to know if you want to come over. Were you waiting for me to be fertile again? Silence. What? Dr. Patel called. My levels have improved. I could have kids now, possibly. His voice was rising. Is that why you came back? Why you brought Lila? Because you knew? Noah, stop. Did you plan this? You're not serious. Answer the question. Her voice went cold. I showed you the papers, the dates, the proof. Papers can be faked. The words were out before he could stop them. They hung in the air like acid. Talia's breath caught. When she spoke again, her voice was shaking. After everything, after all of this, you still don't trust me. I just need to know. You need space? Fine, take it. The line went dead. Noah stared at his phone. His chest felt like it was caving in. What had he done? The mansion was too quiet. Noah stood in the kitchen. Lila's drawing still hung on the fridge, the one that said "Our House" in shaky letters. He'd ruined everything. Graham appeared in the doorway. He didn't say anything, just stood there with his arms crossed. Don't, Noah said. Don't what, sir? Don't look at me like that. Like what? Like you just destroyed the best thing that ever happened to you? Graham's voice was calm, deadly calm, because that's exactly what you did. Noah's hands curled into fists. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. You demanded the truth. She gave it to you, and then you punished her for it. I needed to be sure. About what? Graham stepped forward. His eyes were hard. That she's telling the truth? She showed you hospital records, dates, medical proof. What more do you need? A DNA test, a signed confession? I don't know. Yes, you do. You're scared. And instead of admitting that, you're sabotaging everything, just like you did 5 years ago. The words hit like a physical blow. Noah sank into a chair. He put his head in his hands. I keep doing this, he whispered. I keep pushing away the people I love. Then stop. I don't know how. Graham pulled out a chair and sat down. His voice softened. You start by being honest. About your fear, about your mistakes, and then you ask for forgiveness. Not because you deserve it, but because love requires vulnerability, and vulnerability requires courage. Noah looked up. What if she won't forgive me? Then you live with the consequences. But at least you tried. From the counter, Noah's phone buzzed. He grabbed it, hoping, but it wasn't Talia. It was a text from an unknown number with a photo attached. The photo from the festival. Him and Talia and Lila, smiling, happy. Below it a message. Thought you'd want this. Dotty Noah stared at the picture, at Lila's face, at the way she leaned against him, completely trusting. He zoomed in on her features, the curve of her nose, the shape of her chin, the impossible color of her eyes. She was his. He knew it in his bones, knew it the way you know the sun will rise, and he'd accused Talia of lying. I have to fix this, he said. Yes, you do. How? Graham smiled faintly. You show up. That's all you can do. Noah thought about it, about where Talia couldn't run, where she'd have to listen. The preschool, he said suddenly. Tomorrow morning. She'll be there. That's very public. Good. She deserves a public apology. Graham nodded. Then you better make it count. That night, Noah didn't sleep. He paced. He rehearsed what he'd say. He threw away a dozen different speeches. Finally, he just wrote from the heart. Messy and honest and true. Morning came slowly. Noah put on a simple shirt, jeans. Nothing fancy. He wanted to look like himself, not like he was trying to impress anyone. He arrived at Sunshine Preschool at 8:30. Early, before most of the families showed up. Ms. Priya stood at the door, greeting kids. When she saw Noah, her smile faded. Mr. Callahan, I'm not sure you should be here. I need to talk to Talia. She doesn't want to talk to you. I know, but I need to apologize, properly. Priya studied him. Then she sighed. She's in her classroom. But Noah, if you hurt her again, you'll have the entire preschool staff to answer to, and we're very protective. I understand. He walked down the hallway. His heart pounded against his ribs. Talia's classroom door was open. She stood at the bulletin board, pinning up artwork. She looked tired, sad. Noah knocked softly. She turned. When she saw him, her face went cold. Get out. Talia, please. I said get out. Just listen. Why should I? So you can accuse me of something else. Tell me I'm a liar, a manipulator. Her voice cracked. Kids were starting to arrive. Parents hovered in the hallway, sensing drama. Noah took a deep breath. You're right. About all of it. He spoke loudly enough that everyone could hear. I was wrong. Completely wrong. And I'm sorry. Talia's eyes went wide. Noah, What are you? Can I have 1 minute? At circle time? Please, just 1 minute. She stared at him, conflicted, hurt. Finally, she nodded. 1 minute, that's all. Circle time was chaos. 20 preschoolers wiggling on the carpet, parents lingering by the door. Noah's palms were sweating. Talia stood at the front of the room. Everyone, we have a special visitor today. Mr. Noah wants to say something. Let's use our listening ears. The kids quieted. Sort of. One boy picked his nose. A girl braided her friend's hair. Noah knelt down. He wanted to be at their level. Hi, everyone. My name is Noah, and I need to tell you something important. Lila wasn't there. Talia must have kept her home. Part of Noah was relieved. Part of him ached. Grown-ups make mistakes, he said carefully. Sometimes big ones. I made a really big mistake. I hurt someone I care about very much. Someone who's been nothing but honest and brave and kind. The kids watched him with wide eyes. And I want to say I'm sorry, because sorry is important, even when it's hard. He looked at Talia. Her eyes were shimmering. I don't expect you to forgive me right away, he said to her, not the room. But I want you to know, I love Leela, no matter what. And I love you. I never stopped. I was just too scared to believe I deserved this. Deserved you. A little girl raised her hand. Are you Lila's daddy? Noah's throat closed. I hope so. Then you should say sorry better. My daddy brings flowers when he's sorry. Several parents laughed. Talia smiled despite herself. You're absolutely right, Noah said. I should have brought flowers. He stood slowly. His knees ached from kneeling. That's all. Thank you for listening. Talia walked him to the door. She didn't speak until they were in the hallway. That was... She stopped, started again. That was really brave. It was the truth. Noah, I know I don't deserve it, but can we talk? After class? Please? She bit her lip. My mom has Lila. We can talk in the planning room, noon. I'll be here. Noon felt like forever away. Noah waited in his car. He watched parents pick up their kids, watched Talia wave goodbye to each one. Finally, she appeared at the school entrance and waved him inside. The planning room was small, cluttered with art supplies and lesson plans. Evelyn sat in one of the tiny chairs. Her presence was both intimidating and somehow comforting. Ms. Brooks, Noah said. Mr. Callahan, my daughter says you're here to grovel. Mama, Talia said sharply. What? You did say that. Talia sighed. She pulled out a chair and sat down. Noah remained standing. I brought something, he said. He pulled out a folder. Medical records from 6 years ago, and the recent labs. I want you to see everything. The dates, the diagnosis, the improvement. He laid them out on the table. Talia barely glanced at them. I don't need to see those, Noah. But I know what they say. I know the timeline. I've always known. She looked up at him. The question is, do you believe me? Noah's breath caught. Yes. Then why did you accuse me? Because I was terrified. Of what? Of being happy. Of believing I could have this, a family, a future, and then losing it. So I sabotaged it first, before you could leave, before I could get hurt. Talia's expression softened, just a fraction. That's the most honest thing you've ever said to me. Evelyn stood. She gathered her purse. I'm going to check on Lila. You two talk. She pointed at Noah. And you. Remember what I said. Choose love or choose lonely. She left. Talia and Noah sat in silence. The clock on the wall ticked loudly. I have more proof, Talia finally said. If you need it. I don't... Let me show you anyway. She pulled out her phone, scrolled through photos, then handed it to him. The first photo was an ultrasound, dated August, before the accident. The second was a hospital bracelet, baby girl Brooks, born May 14th. The third was a photo of tiny Lila, maybe 2 days old, wrapped in a pink blanket, green-blue eyes staring at the camera. Noah's vision blurred. She's so small. She was early, 6 weeks early. They kept us in the hospital for a week. I should have been there. Yeah, you should have. Talia's voice wasn't angry, just sad. But you weren't, and I survived. We both did. Noah handed back the phone. His hands were shaking. I'm sorry. For yesterday. For 5 years ago. For all of it. I know. Can you forgive me? Talia was quiet for a long time. She stared at her hands. I want to, she said finally, but I need to know you won't do this again. That the first time things get hard, you won't run, or accuse, or push us away. I won't. I swear. How can I trust that? Because I'm choosing differently this time. I'm choosing to stay, to fight for this, for us. no matter how scared I get. Talia looked at him, really looked, searching his face for lies. She must have found truth because she nodded slowly. Okay, we try again, but slow. And if you mess up, and you will because we all do, you talk to me. You don't shut me out. Deal? Deal. She stood. He stood. And then she was in his arms, crying and laughing at the same time. I hate you, she said into his shirt. I know. You're an idiot. I know that too. But I love you anyway. Noah's heart stopped. You do? Unfortunately, yes. I never stopped, even when I wanted to. He pulled back just enough to see her face. I love you too so much, more than I know how to say. Then show me. Every day. In small ways, that's all I need. I can do that. They stood there, holding each other, until Talia's phone buzzed. A text from Evelyn. Lila wants to see Noah. Come to the house. Talia showed him the screen. Ready? Terrified. But yes. Evelyn's bungalow smelled like soup and fresh bread. Lila sat at the kitchen table, coloring. When Noah walked in, she looked up. Hi, she said quietly. Hi, Lila. Mama said you were sad yesterday. Noah knelt beside her chair. I was. I said some things I shouldn't have, and I hurt your mama's feelings. Did you say sorry? I did. Good. She picked up a green crayon. Saying sorry is important, even when it's hard. You're very wise. I know. She grinned. Then she reached over and hugged him. I missed you. Noah's throat closed. I missed you too. Can we see the fishies tomorrow? He looked at Talia. She nodded. Absolutely. And can we have pancakes? Every Saturday. If your mama says it's okay. I say it's okay, Talia said softly. Lila went back to coloring. Content. Happy. Evelyn pulled Noah aside. You get one more chance. That's it. Use it wisely. I will. I promise. She studied him, then patted his cheek. Good boy. Now sit down. I made soup. Over the next 4 days, they built a routine, small and steady. Tuesday, pancakes at Noah's house. Lila cracked eggs. Got shells everywhere. They laughed and didn't care. Wednesday, preschool pickup. Noah arrived with Graham. Dottie brought flowers, actual flowers, not photos, and apologized again for being nosy. They forgave her. Thursday, kite flying at the park. Evelyn came too. Laughed when Noah got tangled in string, helped him get free. Friday, movie night at Talia's house. They watched something animated and silly. Lila fell asleep on Noah's arm. He didn't move, didn't want to wake her. After the movie, Talia walked Noah to the porch. The night was cool. Stars scattered across the sky. This feels real, she said. It is real. I'm scared it'll disappear. It won't. I won't let it. She leaned against him. I'm ready. Ready for what? To talk about forever. Noah's heart skipped. Yeah? Yeah. Tomorrow. Let's talk tomorrow. Saturday morning. The lake. A simple picnic. Graham kept Lila busy feeding ducks nearby. She threw bread with wild enthusiasm. The ducks quacked and swarmed. Noah and Talia sat on a blanket. The sun was warm, the breeze smelled like pine. I need to tell you something, Noah said. Okay. I've spent 5 years thinking I wasn't good enough, that I was broken, that I couldn't give anyone a family or a future. He took her hand. But you and Lila, you didn't wait for me to be fixed. You just loved me anyway. Broken pieces and all. Talia's eyes were wet. You're not broken, Noah. I know. Now I know. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a small box. I bought this 3 years ago, right after I saw your photo on the preschool website. You were smiling, and I thought, I ruined that. I ruined the best thing in my life. He opened the box, a simple ring, silver with a small stone, nothing flashy. I've been carrying it around, hoping, praying, that somehow, someday, I'd get another chance. Talia's breath hitched. I'm not asking for perfect. I'm not asking for easy. I'm just asking for you. For us. For the chance to be a family. Really be a family. He got down on one knee. Talia Brooks, will you marry me? She was crying. You're really doing this. I really am. You're insane. Probably. She laughed through her tears. Yes. Yes, you ridiculous man. Yes. He slid the ring on her finger. It fit perfectly. And then she was kissing him. Deep and real and full of promise. From the ducks, Lila shrieked. Are they getting married? Graham grinned. Looks like it. Can the ducks come to the wedding? We'll have to ask. Lila ran over, Graham following. She looked at the ring, at her mother's happy tears, at Noah's huge smile. Does this mean Noah's my daddy for real? Noah scooped her up. If that's okay with you. It's very okay. She wrapped her arms around his neck. Can we tell everyone? Tomorrow, Talia said. Tonight we celebrate. Just us. That evening they gathered at Evelyn's bungalow. The house was full. Evelyn, Graham, even Priya and Ben from the preschool. Dottie showed up with a peach cobbler. I heard there was celebrating happening. Figured I'd contribute. They ate casserole and laughed and told stories. Evelyn asked Noah to share one promise to Lila, something he'd keep forever. He thought about it, then knelt beside his daughter. I promise to show up, every day, in small ways, for breakfast and bedtime stories and scraped knees and bad days. I won't always get it right, but I'll always try. Lila thought about that. Then she pulled something from her pocket, a bracelet made of crooked beads. The colors were chaotic, green and blue and purple and gold. I made this for you, to match my eyes. Noah's vision blurred. It's perfect. She helped him put it on. It barely fit around his wrist. He never wanted to take it off. They toasted with sweet tea, made plans for a small wedding in the spring, talked about the future like it was something real and within reach. After dinner, Noah and Talia tucked Lila into bed on Evelyn's couch. She was exhausted, happy exhausted. Good night, Mama. Good night, Daddy. The word didn't hurt anymore. It healed. Good night, baby, Talia whispered. They stepped onto the porch. The night was clear. Crickets sang. Somewhere an owl called. Talia leaned against Noah. His arm came around her shoulders. We're really doing this, she said. We really are. I'm terrified. Me too. But good. Terrified? The best terrified. She looked up at him. Promise me something? Anything. When things get hard, and they will, promise me we'll talk, that we won't run, that we'll choose each other. Every time. I promise. She kissed him, soft and slow and full of hope. Sunday morning. The mansion kitchen. Sunlight everywhere. Lila wore her borrowed apron. She helped Noah flip pancakes. Talia sat at the counter drinking coffee and smiling. Graham took a photo for the family album. We have a family album? Noah asked. We do now. After breakfast, they went to the lawn. Lila ran between them. They lifted her up together. She squealed and laughed. The lake stretched out below, calm and endless. Noah thought about the past 5 years, the loneliness, the regret, the fear, and then he thought about now, about the woman he loved, about the daughter he'd found, about the family they were building. What are you thinking about? Talia asked. Noah pulled her close, kissed the top of her head. Miracles, he said. Miracles? Yeah, I used to think miracles were big dramatic things, but maybe they're just small moments like this, like pancakes and laughter and holding the people you love. Talia smiled. That's very poetic. I have my moments. Lila ran over and grabbed both their hands. Come on, let's go to the pond. They followed her across the grass. The breeze was perfect, the sun was warm, and Noah realized something. This was it. This was everything. Not the mansion, not the money, not the life he'd built alone. This messy, beautiful, imperfect love. They spread a blanket by the water. Lila pointed at clouds and made up stories. Talia braided grass. Noah just watched them, his family. You know what Grandma says? Lila said suddenly. What's that? Talia asked. She says miracles wear little shoes and lead us home. Noah and Talia looked at each other, the same thought in both their minds. She's very wise, Noah said softly. Lila giggled. I know. She went back to her cloud stories. Something about dragons and princesses and fish that could fly. Noah took Talia's hand, squeezed it. We're home, he whispered. She squeezed back. Yeah, we are. And there, on the grass beside the lake, with laughter ringing out and the future stretching bright ahead, they let themselves believe it. Believe in second chances. Believe in forgiveness. Believe in love that's stronger than pride or fear or the weight of the past. Believe in the impossible made possible, because sometimes miracles really do wear little shoes and sometimes they lead you exactly where you're meant to be. Home. The end.